It can be tempting to think of YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook as completely neutral platforms where the best content bubbles to the top. But that's not really the case, and it really means asking yourself, what is the best content? But first, we need to talk about algorithms. At its core, an algorithm is just a set of instructions, a recipe that a computer follows step by step to solve a problem. In social media, algorithms are used to look at the millions of pieces of content uploaded constantly and ask itself, which pieces are most likely to keep people scrolling?
Obviously, those algorithms are proprietary, but it seems to be like with Facebook, you can train it. Yes, I'm interested in this. No, again, those yeses and nos. So if you're able to figure out what those yeses are for your audience, that can get you on their algorithm.
Algorithms aren't just for social media, though. They're used all over the place. They're used in Google Maps when you're looking for the best Thai food. It'll use an algorithm to determine what's close to you, what other restaurants of other people like you found and rated highly. Can you tell me a little bit more how you approach solving a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah, so I was listening to a podcast one day about the Rubik's Cube, and I was like, you know what, I could do this. I think I can do this. I've never solved them before. Like when I've had one, it was just kind of playing around with it, kind of going aimlessly to try to get pieces to be in the right spot. But what I learned is that solving a Rubik's Cube is really just a series of algorithms, these handful of moves that you can do to get the pieces in the spots that you need them. And I've always, I really just kind of spent a weekend learning all the algorithms to solve it.
So solving a Rubik's Cube fast, or you'd say the most effective way to solve a Rubik's Cube is using algorithms.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like it's really just a handful of things to figure out how to get all the pieces in the right spot.
Every second, algorithms are combing through everything that you upload, every photo of a cat, every video that you post from your vacation. An algorithm is what is determining what gets seen. In many ways, when we talk about our target audience, we're talking about our target audience through an algorithm. Our audience isn't the audience itself. Our audience is the algorithm to determine how best to get to the people we want. Creators know this, even if they don't always say it out loud. There are best practices for something like TikTok. You want to use trending audio. You want to make it quick, snappy, or at least like bring people in right away. It's a game with secret rules, and the rules change all the time. As Taylor Lorenz from the Washington Post puts it, going viral is less about the content and more about the algorithm's decision to show it to people. So for instance, in a 2024 Pew study, about 43% of content creators admit that they change their content actively to fit what the algorithm needs. There's an old saying, you are what you eat. I think today it's more you are what the algorithm serves you. If we adapt what we create to fit the feed, are we shaping taste or is taste shaping us? The algorithm rewards what's popular, we adapt to the algorithm. The audience learns what the algorithm wants. It's hard to tell where true preference ends and platform optimization begins. The real irony is we don't actually know what the algorithm wants. We're merely making guesses on the back end. Sometimes we think it wants cats. Sometimes we think it prefers politics. Sometimes it stops recommending certain things for no obvious reason at all.
I mean, there's a thing called also like black box algorithms where you're just tuning different hyperparameters and seeing what gives you the best outcome, and you might not even understand all the math behind it because the machine is adjusting the calculation for you. And that's definitely the level I can be.
YouTube used to brag about the number of videos watched. But as soon as Facebook came out with their video player, Facebook was bragging about minutes watched. YouTube's algorithm at the time, the recommendation engine, was favoring showing multiple videos to people. So their ideal was this is where the 2.5-minute video thing came from. Their recommendation engine was recommending videos more often when they were around 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. Once Facebook came along and said, we don't care about number of videos, we care about minutes watched of videos, YouTube then slightly changed their algorithm over time to start favoring longer and longer videos. Today, the average YouTube video, the average successful YouTube video, that is about 15 to 20 minutes long because they tweaked their algorithm.
Well, another piece of information on the longer video is I watched one about this content creator said if you get to the 10-minute mark, then your video has more opportunity for monetization and there's more ad breaks in there. So once you get to the 10-minute mark, as a creator, you earn more. So it's not even just the algorithm.
We used to craft stories for each other. Now we craft stories for a digital judge that determines who gets to see what. Understanding the real dynamics about what platforms prefer shouldn't change your strategy. It changes the story we tell ourselves about who's really in charge of the conversation.